Hello, greetings again. Welcome back to the Upscale podcast where we speak all things steel pan. I'm your co-host TJ, aka Kareem King this time.
No, Christopher.
Jawan Henry.
All right, so what it takes to win the panorama. I think everybody here has won some kind of panorama in their life, right?
Definitely.
Within the discussion, just having a discussion, we would have noted that it takes a lot. It takes a lot. There's no one factor that can make you be successful in the panorama arena. If I know everybody every year, because about judges, they will say, "Oh, judges thief us." Da, 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 da. Apart from that, you can't control that. You cannot control the bias with that. But in terms of having everything aligned, music, most important as to me, because it's a musical competition.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you have your music. You need to make sure that you have your execution down, because you may have the best music and you can't execute. But these are some of the things that we want to deal with. We want to discuss today. So we want to know, what does it take to actually win a panorama?
Definitely.
Which one?
All right, so I'll start.
Jawan.
All right, go ahead. Let's see it, Jawan. We go start up.
All right, so most importantly, for competition, there are guidelines that you have to follow.
Definitely.
First being the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know what is the criteria. What are the judges looking for? Where can I capitalize my points? Where can I get my marks from?
Strengths, where your strengths and where your weaknesses.
Yeah. So when you follow that, then you look at, now you want to look at theatrics, everything.
Afterwards,
So,
and if that holds weight, you add that. Okay.
Yeah. So with the theatrics, you want to make sure that you're making the audience
Involved, enjoy.
enjoy themselves. So I feel like it is important that you follow the criteria.
Criteria.
The criteria.
Mhm.
Because you can't be upset with the judges if they have dynamics and stuff, and you go up there and you play
Everything
for the whole song, and you score one on dynamics. You can't be upset.
Well, the thing about it is, well, just to be, just to be kind of wild, that is a dynamic.
That is a dynamic, but that's just one dynamic.
Exactly. So no, there's nothing varying dynamics, right? So that's definitely a factor. Right? So
Yeah.
criteria is your main contribution
Yes.
to this discussion. So the criteria, following the exact criteria, following it to the T, and then you will put in your extra.
You put in your
extra
step,
style, but make sure you
basically,
satisfy
Yeah.
the criteria.
make sure you satisfy the criteria, because that is where you get most of your points from. I'm not saying that's the only factor that makes you win panorama,
Yeah, boy.
because there's things on the scene. as well.
Always. You give
Well,
a contribution.
Okay, so for me, Jawan already touched criteria. So I will look at bands need to do SWOT analysis.
Mhm.
Right? Performing a SWOT analysis will help you so much. You bring out your strengths.
Oh, just
Right,
gonna ask you.
I
Maybe you need to tell us
Right.
what
So
the
SWOT analysis is
Okay.
strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and your threats. Right? So your strengths would be, like, some bands may have stronger players. Right? So the strength of your players could be a strength. Right? The strength of maybe your executive could be a strength. You have planned for panorama from the start of the year. So that's a strength for you. The strength, another strength could be your pans. You have better pans than everybody else.
Competition.
Right? So you don't have to worry about that. And then another strength could be your numbers. Right? I'm stronger in numbers than this band. So then I know, okay, I have that on them. So then that could be a thing. And then your arrangement as well could be another strength. Opportunities, you can look at opportunities to be like situations like I have an opportunity to get better players, or to get a better tune, or to take a different angle in my arrangement, whereby I can approach the music and capitalize on the criteria more, right? So that in the criteria, you may have 6 marks for creativity. I can use my creative mind, because I have a creative mind, and I could arrange a song in a way that can capture the judges and capture the crowd with that opportunity right there. Your weaknesses, you can say your weaknesses. Some bands will say their weaknesses are pants. The big conversation is their weaknesses is numbers, which I don't. Numbers don't win you a panorama, but that's another discussion.
That's I was actually going to touch on that because you mentioned that your strengths might be numbers,
right?
Like a bigger number, but I know that some persons operate better with a smaller number,
right?
So just don't forget this strength. Maybe I have to do your checks, right? But what I want, the reason why I don't want to forget it, I don't want to solve because we said that you realize that you mentioned numbers again as a weakness,
right?
Because it all depends on which where you are with it, right?
Definitely.
Reason being, it is easier for me as a driller to drill a small group and get a small group to play exactly how I want than to get 150 players to play exactly how I want.
Right.
It is that should be easier for you to understand. Definitely. It's easier for you to drill smaller groups, or it's easier for you to actually make them execute what you need with smaller groups. Most times, it all depends on the band, of course, as you know. So I just want to put that one in before I forget, because trust me, the way how we had discussions, so sometimes it will disappear. It will disappear, and then I would have to comment underneath in the section. No, I don't really agree with. Don't really agree, but I wanted to add this part in, but I forgot. So that's why I said let me just add it in before we forget. But go ahead, continue. Yeah, your threats as well.
Yeah, so I have the threats. So let me continue your weaknesses. So as I said, weaknesses could be numbers.
Yes.
Right. Numbers could definitely be a weakness. But I don't want, as you mentioned, numbers could also be a positive. So one your weakness as well could be the stage, right? You're going on a stage with a canopy and you don't know how the sound is going to sound, right? So bad number one is, you want to use the word, the dummy, right? So bad number one is the
guinea pig.
Because if they go on the stage and then you stand up in front and you hear, it's not the band, but it's the stage. Right, so then you have to now adjust, and know that always have in your mind the stage could be your biggest enemy. Right, the stage could literally make you fail. Right, so you have to prepare for the stage, right, and planning in your SWOT analysis. That's your weakness. Your threats would just generally be other bands. Right, what you think? This band last year they came really good, so I think that this year they may come back harder. Because they have already got to this stage. There's no way, I don't think they're going to regress, but I think they're going to progress. So you have to think about other bands and how they're going to approach it and how I can better my band so that threat there will not become a big threat.
Big threat to you.
But I can handle it.
You can manage it.
Right. It's manageable. So I think that we need to look at it from that avenue, from a SWOT analysis. We can break it down and we can carefully put it together. You might be at a better stage, especially in an organization as a band. Let's just say a band.
Okay. So again, all that you guys have said is of course valuable and everything that makes sense. I just wanted to add on some of it. One of the threats would be that same stage, isn't it? Because it can be a threat. So some of the times we don't know exactly what we're getting, and I know that for a fact with the national panorama. The junior panorama, not so much, because we usually don't have the big production, a big stage with our lights and everything else, like the other events. So some competitions again we have tents over it. So like church panorama they had 10. So what I do is especially if I'm not playing first, what I do is I go and listen to first band. That's my strategy as well. I go and listen to the first band, and when I'm listening to the first band, I go and tell my group. Once I hear what's up, I say, okay, cool. The basses are not traveling underneath this song. They're not projecting. And boy, this is a loaded discussion. Loaded discussion. It also depends on the size of that band compared to my band.
That's true.
Because I can't necessarily judge a 5-piece band and I have 20 and say, hey, the basses weren't projecting, so we need to play loud. It is difficult. So reason why we're going to be discussing, the reason why we chose to discuss this is because, again, there are a lot of different factors that come into actually being successful in the panorama field or in a competitive field.
Definitely.
So some of the things in them you are in your control, some of them are not in your control. The key is to do what? Keep the things that are in your control. You just make sure you deal with those. So in terms of music, you may have the best music, you may not perform the best music on the night. You may not execute the best music on the night. Those are things that could happen. What about the issue of
Weather.
the weather? The weather is one. Not only that, what about issue of ego and confusion before you go on stage? What about those things? All of those things can drop more. Right?
Another uncontrollable variable will be we go on stage, generator cut out.
It's a light off. There is look
in the middle. You don't come through. You don't come through first arrangement. Don't go to second arrangement. In the jam, everybody jamming. Bam.
come out.
Gee.
And the thing about it is, you can prepare to play in the dark. However, there's no guarantee that everybody
Right.
on that stage will be on the same wavelength to say, hey, when I see it come off, just continue.
Right.
There may be some who may stop playing and wonder, should we continue or not? You're always going to have the inexperienced players. The inexperienced players, anything that changes. Anything. We know stories of persons going onto stage, bass players, like top of the section players, going on stage to play. And when they reach on stage, their pan is set up different.
Yep.
The pan set up different.
Time.
Yeah.
I remember they had this person.
The call no name.
And I found no person.
Unless you have proof. The call no name unless you have proof.
There's proof.
Okay.
I don't call it. So imagine we setting up. And I didn't even say what song we played too, because you can do you can do So we set up, we're going to the fanfare, That person with the beer around the bass. Singing that.
Also bass player. Okay, so see me tell you. Okay, bass.
So now this person, I believe at that point would have known. Yeah,
Something is off.
this is off. But guess what? They didn't say anything. So the ranger count off. Da, 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 da. Playing the song. I see the person there. And the first I see a bassman sham. So.
Sham. What does sham mean?
Sham means-
Remember, we have to talk to our
Okay.
audience. What does sham mean in Antigua?
Skating is when you're not really touching the notes, but you're just shadowing it to make it look like you're
You're
playing.
pretending like you're
You're
playing.
pretending
Alright,
like
so
you're playing.
so for instance, and we love to hear the comments. We love to hear
Yeah.
what it is in your country. Because skating is from Trinidad.
Trinidad, yeah.
Skating, we call it sham in Antigua and Barbuda. Not sure the other countries. So if you know, you just let me know. Because I would love to hear what it is you call it.
Right.
It seems like every country has a different name for it.
Right.
And then you are shadowing, you're pretending like you know the song. And you maybe be jamming and then when you look in the pan, you realize you're not hitting anything or you're not hearing anything out of the pan. Like, hey, go and learn the song properly rather than sham.
Sham, yeah.
That's what we call it here. So what was the outcome of that though? Did you just sham the whole tune?
Sure, the whole tune, because guess what? Well, you see, that's the purpose of a fanfare, to make sure everything
is
in order.
intact.
If you see that your pans are set up wrong, you take that time to tell them, hey,
Hey, wait, something is
yeah,
happening.
don't count off yet, because once that count card
Right.
starts,
That's it.
that's it. Judges
That's it.
start marking.
Right.
As well, you could be playing on the stage. What happens? Your pan drop. That's an uncontrollable variable.
Yeah,
Your
that's
your
true.
strings burst.
That's
I remember in
But-
2013 that happened to
Academy. I think.
Academy. Yeah.
I think Academy. But the thing about it, I'm not entirely sure if there's any rule or any regulation, any part of the criteria that lends to
Speaks
that.
to the pan.
Yeah, because a pan job is like,
You can't.
I
you
didn't
can't.
necessarily make a mistake.
Right.
My pan fell.
Yeah.
Not only that the pan fell, well, for instance, if there's a loud noise in the crowd, you can't contribute that to me.
Right.
I don't think you should contribute that to me. If there is a collapse on the roof, not over players, hopefully.
Right.
But I mean, like something is making a loud crash, something fell off, a light fell off or something, and you can't necessarily attribute that to my performance because I did not have any control of that. I didn't have any control of the wind blowing like hurricane gust and blowing and the Tinkerton line just fall. I don't think that I should be marked down for that. However, we don't know. Right?
Yeah.
So there's let me see, 1, 2, you got through it, you're on it, my turn, right? Okay, just making sure. So in terms of apart from the weather, we have the factors of execution on the night of the show. Because you may drill down. Everybody have your stuff. But the moral drop because of some argument that happened.
Yeah.
Right? Some disagreement. Hey, where's my shirt? Oh, boy, I give the shot. This, that. Wait on this, wait on that. Or some kind of drama that can happen. Or how come you not get food? And how come? And then now, if your friends in the section and say, wait, how come Jawan not play? Jawan say, oh, then you want to give me no food.
Right.
Jawan's friends and then now might feel a little like, yo, how come Jawan from practice so long? How come you didn't get enough food?
Right.
Me not about to play. Leave it at the compromising position. They have factors of the drummer. The drummers. Drummer stick fall.
Yeah.
And drummer, bass drum move back. And nobody on the rack is prepared. Because that's one thing I do. My rhythm section knows. Anything happens with the drum, you guys are responsible for that. If you need to stop playing the cowbell, if you need to stop playing congas, you just get a stick to my drummer. Yeah. Get a stick to the drummer. So those are things that we prepare for beforehand.
You said that the drummer. I see the drummers now, they have like this little pouch bag.
Hook up to the pull out one time and continue. So it's innovation, man. And of course, so the same thing with our frontline players. The frontline players have two space. Not even front. Every single body supposed to have at least 2 pairs. If you don't have 2 pairs, you have 1.5 pair.
Yeah.
Right?
So you never know what might happen.
You never know.
You might be the best player in the world, but then you just go stage this time and your hands get slippery. You never even get slippery and your sick drop out.
I have played before when people drop 2 sticks. 2 sticks. So imagine you're going with 1 extra. So, with the whole, I've seen performances where people run chupan to try to get their sticks while the performance is going on. So there's a lot of things that you need to align. So we dealt with weather as well, the gust of wind. Imagine you're on the stage, you're having a great performance down the line, 5 minutes into the 8 minutes tune, and rain. Do you stop? Do you continue? The true answer is continue until the judges tell you to stop.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
However, you never know what. It's so tricky. As I said, there are a lot of stars that need to align for you to win this competition. You understand? For you to be let me not say win. For you to be successful in this competition, because it's not only about winning. I personally do not deal with. Oh well, we need to win. No. I don't like that chain of thought. I don't like it because it makes you devalue the entire process, the developmental process that you go through. So from getting there from May, getting in the panya from May, late May, early June, right? June, July, then early August is our panorama. This is Antigua and Barbuda, so greatest summer festival. So we advertise it, we advertise no. But this is where we are at. Yeah. And again, so we have 2 months of practice, and you are totally upset that you didn't win. It can't be only focused on the winning. Right. We have to make sure that we're focusing on what? Development. Be happy that, hey, you know what? I learned, I got better, and next year is going to be easier for me. You understand?
Did you
leave it
everything on the stage? How did you feel after you played?
Let it go.
If it don't feel like, boy, give it my all, boy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If it says, boy, I still have some in the tank.
Yeah. That's what I just about to say. Before you focus on, I supposed to win.
Look within yourself. Look within yourself and see.
Your internal investigation. What happened? What could I do better next year?
And don't purge your conscience with certain things. Because at the end of the day now, and we're having this discussion, and the reason why we're having this discussion is because there's no right way, no wrong way.
Right.
The funny thing about judges have their preferences.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you would see an exposure sheet that literally says, I was hoping that they would have gone to this, but that's not what you were hired to do. Yeah. The judges are not hired necessarily to say, I wanted you to do this. No. Based on the criteria, based on the rubric that you would have given me, how did I perform?
Yes.
Right? what are the how many marks do you think that I deserve from that? Because one person might say, you know, I always like up tempo tune, I like jumpy tune, and another person might say, you know, I like slow tunes, but a lot of harmonic progress, a lot of reham, and a lot of, you know, emotive development. These are all kind of, some persons just like the hype. You understand? So you can't necessarily go and anticipate what a judge is going to like. You work towards the criteria, and then you satisfy your audience and your players' desires, the needs after that. That's how I approach it. And again, I just want to make sure the disclaimer is there's no right way, no wrong way. We're just discussing some of the factors that we need to consider whenever we are applying, whenever we're trying to be successful in our panorama.
Right, and even to add to everything, one of the things as well, you're on stage. Imagine you're on stage, arrange your counting off, somebody bust. Somebody start just before the ranger, just before the count.
What nerves?
What
nerves?
do the band do? Do you
Nerves.
stop playing?
Never.
Do you continue playing? I remember in recent years we had a competition, a school competition, and there was a particular band.
Yo,
And
job what you mean?
They started out, and I mean, when they started,
Oh my!
somebody bust.
No.
It was.
You can't be me then. And I be then.
You heard somebody maybe like dropped the gun, but one of the things I admired of that band, they didn't stop. Everybody jumped behind that person and they pushed, right? And then you heard a lot of women people saying, no, they actually won the competition. But I'm always adamant that one of the things I think even maybe why the judges
going to the criteria this one.
why the judges loved that as well was the band did not stop. The band they pushed through and pushing through, and the arrangement was, I mean, it was beautiful. I want to arrange for that, didn't I? You know?
So no, we're gonna have a little problem. Because I thought the funny thing about it, I thought that me and Norel were friends. That's the funny thing about it, you know.
My brother actually, my brother.
I thought that me and you were friends.
My brother.
So when Norel started talking about my situation, I didn't expect it.
It's my brother.
But let me explain what happened. So it's important. I'm happy that you mentioned it, right? Because I wasn't even meaning that far from my mind, right? Because what happened is just a little clarification for those who may have been wondering about it. When I started counting out that tune, it was Island Girl, Princess Margaret Secondary, right? I started counting out to the one. So we supposed to get a 1, 2, wanna be with you. That's what it was supposed to be. But when what happened is when I was counting out, I hear somebody gonna let off the fog machine. The fog machine. So I thought it was my drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Sean rolling on the crash to bring in the band for some reason. I'm like, yo, Sean, that's not how we go. But I needed to send them to one time. So I just had to make an executive decision. I said, I'm going to give the count. So the 1, 2. But so some persons caught the 1, 2.
But some person didn't catch it.
And some person didn't catch it. So what it started to sound like 1, no, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
So it started to sound like a crescendo. So nobody played before the count. But some persons came in directly on it, and then right after, pam, 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 pam. So because of that, it sounded like a crescendo. So judges didn't even notice that. So on the score sheet, they didn't even mention it.
TJ.
But not only that, wait 1 second. Not only that, because there was a discussion. I had players crying. Because of it. Oh, we're going to do it. And I told them, don't worry about it. And when they were adamant, that's when I got assertive and said, hey, do not worry about it. When I'm telling you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because there's something called a criteria. 5 marks for introduction.
Yeah.
The only thing that you're supposed to be touching is my 5 marks.
Yeah.
If you're going to touch a 5 mark, no problem. If you want it, you're going to take off 2 marks for just a week.
Yeah.
Just first 2, 3 notes.
They make up for it in the rest of the tune.
Of course, you understand. So these are the kind of things, and again, the stars have to align. Mistakes happen. I have no idea who was controlling the fog machine. I'm feeling Norel now. But God, how you talk does know I'm feeling Norel. No, I'm feeling
I was
Norel.
on the side mistake.
And you pretend like
I was supporting them. I mean, they were my first shot.
Sure,
They were my first.
Barbarian.
From hearing on the ground,
yeah.
walking on the grounds.
Mm.
I mean,
Well-
Princess Margaret was the school. I mean,
Yeah, so
I don't normally support them, but
But hear me out.
but
I wanted to touch on that same criteria thing you say. So not because they made a mistake mean that you automatically lose it.
yeah,
Competition.
no.
Because
There's a criteria and a rubric for everything.
yeah,
If for instance you make a mistake in the introduction, the 5 marks that's supposed to be, you do deal with that for the 5. If you make a mistake in the outro, you're supposed to be dealing with the 5. There's no way that I make a mistake in my introduction and you take off for reham, you take off for dynamics, you take off for that's not fair.
Yeah.
That is not fair. So again, there's a lot of things. Yo, guys, we need to have another discussion. This one is a sweet one. And you get to know who your friends are and what. So, but anyway, the time to wrap up is here. So, it was a lovely discussion. And I'm hoping that we can have another one like this. Especially because, again, we're in the panorama season.
Right,
So,
definitely.
let's get the final thoughts in.
So for me, it's just about we staying true to what it is, and we continue pushing. Bands all around, just constantly keep on pressing, keep on with our preparations, keep on making sure that we are on the right track path. And can't go wrong. You can't go wrong once you prepare, and always prepare for all the variables. Try to instill in your players as many variables as you can.
possibly
And one of the things you always tell them, if something go wrong, just continue.
Push.
Just
through.
keep pushing.
Push
Don't
through.
stop. Just keep on pushing.
Push through. Jawan,
yes, I agree with Norel. He said it all, but as well, follow the criteria. It should be okay.
Yeah, and apart from following the criteria as well, reach out to people. Sometimes you never know.
Right.
Reach out. They have their past judges who could have probably given you some guidance as to what they looked for before. If they were successful, if they were judges that you looked up to. There are past arrangers who are out there who you can ask questions. They are different. They're the wealth of knowledge. They're not only in Antigua again. You have different countries who are doing their things, doing their things. So you can reach out to them to ask questions. If you are confused about something, you have Google, the University of Google, that you can go and research rehab. What is a rehab? What do I need to do? Or how can I get better at this? What are some examples of this? Okay, how can I use it in my arrangement and whatnot? So those are the kind of things that we say. And again, the stars need to align. The weather needs to be right. You can't be playing in the hot sun. The canopy, you need to know how to assess the canopy issue, or if there is no canopy, you need to know what your racks, if your racks need to be covered or not covered. You need to know, okay, cool, who's the best driller for your band, because every driller don't work out. You have a lot of different things that
on the stage as well.
boy, where you are on the stage, you said.
Right.
How far in front?
How far?
How far back? If you want a compact sound, if you want it spread out,
Right.
a lot of different
Definitely
things.
need to
We
touch
have to
on
get
this.
another one.
We have to touch
So,
on this again.
so,
Yeah,
but once again, thank you very, very much for being a part of this so far. I think that we have gotten a lot of support. We're grateful for the support, and we just want to continue to encourage you to support us, support the podcast. We hope that we are giving you content that is valuable, just non-biased, just valuable content, things that we can look forward and you can apply to your own your bands, your journey in steel pan and music. And just want to say a heartfelt thank you again. So thank you very much for tuning into the Upscale podcast, where we speak all things steel pan. Again, I'm your host TJ or Kareem King.
No, Christopher.
John Henry, and on another note, please like, follow us, and share.
Yes, that's true.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thank you very, very much.
Remember, do re mi
Fa sol la.
Tido. That's what to sing. I can't sing. I cannot sing. I'm the only one in my family that cannot sing. Thank you very, very much.
Upscale.
Upscale.
Upscale.